Alright, hello everyone,
Hello!
and welcome back to Crown of the Tyrant Queen.
Hi.
We are gearing up for another fun session. I should probably push notifications and all of the Discord channels we're in as well real quick. We're all pretty much set to go. I should probably close this. Helping Tony
Jesus
on
Christ.
her end, so... Orboss should also probably unpause the game when he gets the chance.
What? We need to find a but yeah, I'm not gonna reveal why, but if I and Gil fought, Gil would be fucking screwed.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
Say that as if she's got friends on the other side.
She's got friends on
Oh
the
my
other
God.
That's Azzy.
side.
How did I know they were gonna make that reference?
I mean, considering how often I listen to that song at work, it was pretty much a given.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
some
that's
pretty fucking
kind of
solid
like-
backing tracks.
Yeah. Are you ready?
No.
Are you ready? Transformation Central. Transformation.
Anyway, before we get
Transformation
copyrighted-
Central.
I...
Anyway, I'm gonna stop.
Quick, stop
Um,
before we get demonetized.
Yeah. What? With...
No!
Yeah, because Warboss's singing voice is right on key. It's gonna get absolutely detected.
Where's
Shut
my
up.
money, you bitch? I demand my
Whoa.
royalties!
I don't believe I was off key, you bitch. Anyway. So, who wants to go over session 13? Which
Well, I
is
wasn't here.
technically session 14, but session 13 was just me talking about the map and then Sai passing out.
Shut the
So,
fuck up.
We're gonna say session 13 never happened, and this was session 13.
I guess it was technically session 13.5.
Oh yeah, and for the players' sake, I took the magical item and session recap sections of the document that I've shared with you for the thing, and I've made them into links to other Google Docs so that there's not a giant fucking section of the document that's just for session recaps and magical items. So you should be able to find them all there. Though the session recaps are on Discord as well, so you can find them anyway. How about this? Sai, if you're okay with this, would you do the session recap as I?
Oh my gosh, you're asking
Kill
a
her
lot.
voice! Kill her voice! Kill her voice!
Okay, I'll do it if you
Oh wait,
if you,
no, this
if
is
you not feel
unless this is like later Icewind Dale Eye, in which case she can't speak anyways.
Yeah, true. There, I did the recap.
Want to see me do the recap? Want to see me do it again?
Well, specifically, the reason I asked is Curb, in his infinite wisdom, didn't name session 13, unlike the other ones. So, in my notes, the session 13 is called I Castell.
Oh, so he named the VOD, but he didn't name the recap.
Fine.
I mean, either way, the name for the VOD is I Can't Believe It's Not Druid, so it's still I.
Yep.
Yeah. Last time, the party makes their way to I's treehouse, only to find it empty, save for a large collection of birdhouses, one of which houses Balthasar, a tuxedo-adorned owl companion of I, who helps to take care of the other birds in the residence. Balthazar informed the party that I had already made her way towards Aquamarine with urgency, and that the rest of the party decided to follow suit. As they hurry down the path to Aquamarines, a commotion is heard off the side of the road. And after investigating, the party finds Gil's old winged Avariel companion, in the middle of a Queendom ambush with direct orders to take her captive and back to Queendom side. I refused by firing a shot at the commander, Gale Swiftwind, a blue half dragon riding upon a large hydra. Um, and a battle broke out, with the party quickly coming to I's aid. Though I and Gil squabble verbally regarding the unwanted rescue attempt, the tide quickly begins to swing the party's favor. And after many of his soldiers are slain, the captain requests a ceasefire and surrenders himself, asking the party to spare the surviving members of his squad in return. As the broken Queendom forces fully back to face their fate across the border, the party gets a bit more context about the nearby Queendom garrison, led by a conjoined blue and red corrupted dragonborn called the Huntress Inquisitor. Um, as tensions slowly ease during the remaining travel towards Aquamarine, Gil and I have a more relaxed discussion as well, discussing the uncertain status of most of their old companions in the hundreds of years since Gil went AWOL. Finally, after making their way to Aquamarine, the party collects a bounty for Gale's capture and makes their way to the Oaken Cask to rest and finally discuss the next steps in I's plan. So, um, we have a tiny retcon relating that the previous session
What a
because of
retcon.
some things that we're planning for this arc. And the retcon is very simple. It is that when you approached Aquamarine at first, um, you noticed that Aquamarine, as per I's information, is currently in process of being under siege. So it's not under siege quite yet, but forces are massing. And I showed you a path that is not the main gate because it is closed because of the imminent siege through the walls. That is basically a path for officers of the Adventurers Guild when they need to go through incognito. That's the only thing I wanted to go over, which is that you didn't enter the city through proper channels. You entered through I showing you a way into the building, into the wall, basically.
Remember, kids, this will be on the test.
Yep, this will be on the test. You better remember. So,
Only if Clefairy says.
Hmm.
Gosh, I remember that shit.
the description I can give of Aquamarine is as followed, because I don't think I went into details as to what Aquamarine looks like on the inside. So, Aquamarine, being a border city near a river, has a great defensive wall and the walled off docking area dug from the river into a hollow in the natural terrain. It has, in part due to its proximity to Arcanum Centrum, one of the largest branch of the Arcane Society, and is fairly well equipped when it comes to artificing wonders, having magical orbs letting in at night, paved roads with magical carriages, and many of the more modern amenities usually only found in arcane society branches. So it's very advanced. The houses have large glass panes that usually are reserved for um, like shops and such. There, that you've got some um, modern for for this setting architecture as well. And uh, as for the status of Aquamarine, we're gonna wait for tomorrow in game, where the status will become uh, relevant. Which is that, well, actually, you know what? No, I'm just gonna go over it. Um, Aquamarine is currently under siege and has been for a while in and basically on and off. Forces of Barrel knocking at its doors. Being a border city, that's not a rare occurrence, as conflict between the two cities often flare here and there. The hostilities are currently stopped, but expected to resume soon. The city is rationing due to the long on and off siege, but it's awaiting a large shipment in the future, and that's all you know for now. The rest is things that only I knows, so I'm not going to reveal that information. So, you are in the Oaken Cask. You found your way uh, into Aquamarine through Eye's secret passage, and you can finally relax. I,
Hi.
the um, the excitement of the situation having passed, you are left sitting across from Gil, your arch enemy, arch friend, enemy, arch friend.
Frenemy.
He just looks at him dejectedly for a moment, then just looks away quickly.
So at this point, we're all sitting around the table in the tavern.
At this point, you're all in the tavern, sitting at a table.
Hecate just acts like he's been zoned out the entire time this has happened, and he just is kind of like, huh?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I can tell you, wake up. There's a steak and potatoes in front of you.
The fuck did I do to get this?
You threatened to cook an enemy commander, is what you did.
All right.
So
Sounds
now
like
you
something
get
I would do.
proper cooking.
Sounds like something I would do. He just takes a bite.
So, what's our next move? I.
Sorry, freaking dog is distracting me. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
you can hear it.
I bark, bark. Woof, woof.
We like dogs.
Look, I know
I like
birds are more
dogs
your
when they're
thing,
not
but
fucking annoying.
She's just petting a dog at this moment, just trying to distract herself from Gil. That is the sound that the dog is making. Live
She's
dog
petting.
reaction.
She's petting the dog and it's barking aggressively. It's like,
yes.
Absolutely.
I don't think it likes the petting.
Jesus.
Thank you, Hyde.
Oh my god.
But I'm gonna have to give you a ticket for a wooing.
Do not a woo.
A woo.
No, Awu.
Good lord.
He's resisting arrest.
We like dogs.
Oh my god. Is someone trying to
Anyways.
break into your home or something? Anyway, so Gil has just asked you what's next in the plan, and you know what next in the plan. We talked about what's next in the plan. If you forget what's next in the plan, you can ask, and I will.
I
give you
slightly
information.
forgot.
Okay, so I remember that I gave you a thing, which is the last message.
Was it the last? Was it the pinned one?
I can't even spell this without typo.
Freaking Theos.
Hey, the I and the O are next to one another on the keyboard, okay?
So they are. So they are.
So this is the information you would be able to share with the
Okay.
party as to the current situation in Aquamarine.
What's our next move?
So, I just shushes him for a moment as she just finishes petting the dog and just shoos the dog away. The dog scampers off.
Right. Anyways. So this city. Gil, I'm pretty sure you're aware this city is under siege quite a bit. Because it's a border city, right?
I mean,
Um,
Sturt definitely seems to be gearing up for another one.
Yes, and it's been happening for a long time, longer than usual. Like, the city is rationing at this point.
Does it have to do with that Huntress Inquisitor that Gale mentioned?
He just shrugs and says, "Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm just trying to reread this as I am talking." Oh my gosh.
Just at the mention of the Huntress,
As
you just
far
see
as
like
you're
Eric
aware,
shudder a bit.
as far as you're aware, the Huntress Inquisitor, the first you've heard of her was during the ambush.
Yeah, that's
so
why
you
she shrugged.
don't believe that she's behind the siege. As for you, Eric, the Huntress Inquisitor is, as her name suggests, partly a huntress. She's more in the business of hunting specific targets than mounting sieges. She's not exactly a war general. She's more of a you give her a bounty poster and she goes and picks that guy up more than you give her command of armies and stuff.
No, I don't think you need to worry about her siege in this place. It's not really her MO.
Hmm.
She's more in the business of hunting down individuals and bringing them back. Herrick says as he just looks to Eye.
Well, what do we know about the garrison then? The Queendom forces that I'm assuming are gearing up to lay siege to the town. Or is that just what we're here to figure out?
Other guys, more or less help me out here. My brain is very slow today. I've
No, it's fine. No
gone
worries.
through like so
You
much shit
don't
today.
know. You don't know.
I'm
I
so
doesn't know
sorry.
anything currently about the general behind the siege. So I'm gonna. Okay, so let's just say I gives you this general information about the situation that's currently happening. So currently, Aquamarine is under siege by forces from Beryl, which is the city that on the map, if we're on the map, is the city that's right across from the border. Um, uh, being a border city, it's not rare that there are skirmishes, but between the two cities, they often flare up. But the siege is a bit more of a problem. The city is rationing due to the long siege going on enough, but it's currently awaiting a large shipment from Diamond, which will allow it to resupply if they're not intercepted by Queendom forces. Diamond being the city that is northwest of the Aquamarine. Um, though there is a chance that the Queendom will find a way to blockade the supplies. Um, it's rumored, as to I, this is information that I is purview to, but not exactly everyone would be, that the shipment might also have an asset to the war that is coming to Aquamarine. However, uh, the scholars who are contracted by the Adventurers Guild have informed I, who is basically kind of an officer, that with the lunar alignment, if the lunar alignment persists as is, Aquamarine will soon find itself under the gaze of the Black Moon, which the Queendom may use to gain an advantage in this conflict. So right now the situation is, if you're under siege while the Black Moon is above, you have two choices. You leave the walls undefended for the night in the hope that the things that are crawling under the shadow of the Black Moon will be as much a problem for the people assailing you as they will with you, or you keep up your defenses and have to deal with the fact that you're under the shadow of the Black Moon, which means you're going to be dealing with a lot of crazy, shadowy, undead things and mind fuckery bullshit. So, Aquamarine is going to have to make a choice as to how they deal with that, and the I is worried that um, in this in this moment where the um, the defense of Aquamarine is lowered or otherwise occupied, the Queendom will find their way into Aquamarine and cause some sort of mischief, or simply use that opportunity to take an advantage and maybe scale one of the walls something along those lines. I is not clear on the details. She doesn't know exactly what's going on, but she is, however, certain that like Aquamarine is a lot more of a city than a lot more of a defensive city than fucking uh city I've forgotten the name of.
That's my favorite city.
Jade?
Bismuth.
Bismuth, gotcha.
Um, it has multiple walls in the way of like if you've watched the movies, everyone's watched the movies.
Attack on Titan.
In Minas Tirith or Attack on Titan, where there are multiple walls to protect it. So one wall being breached is not the end of the world, but it is catastrophic either way. Um, um, so yeah, so that is the situation that is explained to you, Gil, by I, who is going to stutter over the details, go back and forth, and not give it to you in any concise way whatsoever.
Mm,
What?
I'm so sorry about this.
No, it's fine. You don't have to be worried. I'm just making a joke at the expense of your character, not the
Gil
expense
just
of
kind
you.
of sits back in his chair, just kind of mulls over the information. So from what I'm gathering, it sounds like ensuring that the supplies from Diamond reach the city unassailed is number one priority at the moment.
Yes. Otherwise, this place is gonna fall.
Not sure if there's much we can do about the Black Moon. When did you say that was scheduled? Forecast,
For
I
your
suppose, is the
information,
better.
the forecast is never clear because the moons almost have a mind of their own.
Mm-hmm.
But they're expecting it to be over the not necessarily in the it's going to happen in the next week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
She just shrugs, just gives that little wavy hand
Probably
thing.
probably somewhere between like in I say in week and a half starting today. It would be more in a week starting in half a week. So you've got like
All right.
3 days where you're pretty sure it's not happening, and then a week where it might happen.
3 days minimum, maybe a 10-day tops. Like, you know how they work.
Mm. How long is the travel from Diamond to Aquamarine?
For a group of adventurers, can make it probably in a day. For a large caravan that have to like carry supplies,
Mm-hmm.
probably a few days. They can't move at like top speed. They have to just kind of push. There's a lot of they're not working with fast horses.
Mm.
And the issue, if you understand, is as follows. Currently, Aquamarine, the information that I is going to give you because she knows that information. But I'm not gonna roleplay I because my voice doesn't go that high.
Understandable.
So I explains to you that currently Aquamarine is under what is essentially a teleportation blackout
Yeah.
because the reason that she went she made sure to go by Jasper before teleporting in is because while Aquamarine is under siege, we don't want things being able to teleport into it because those things might be enemies.
Mhm.
So currently there's a teleportation blackout, which is the reason the shipment has to go over land
Yeah.
instead of being teleported in.
Are those
Because if
blackouts
they-
one way?
Usually, no. If you activate, basically, you remember when you were in Bismuth, there was just like this giant teleportation dome above the city that the dragon ended up breaking?
Hmm.
This giant dome, it has different settings. Usually, its only thing that it does is it keeps dragons away, but there are options that you can do to block other things. So, and currently the dome itself is blocking in all incoming and outgoing teleportation. You can still teleport within the dome. So like you can still Misty Step or teleport, but you can't go from the inside of the city to out and from the outside of the city to in.
Yeah.
Unless you have some kind of device that scrambles such the abjuration magic that's taking place.
Well, in that case, suppose we can go check in with the Adventurers Guild, see if they're posting for any guards for the caravan, and ensure that it gets here mostly intact. As far as I'm aware, that's probably the best use of our skill set until the actual siege begins.
Quite agreed.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't really need everyone to come with me for this one, but, anyone who wants to come with me, I'm probably gonna make my way over. Otherwise, feel free to actually get a room, and we're probably just gonna rest up for the night.
Sayora just audibly yawns.
Hecate just kind of shrugs while still slowly munching his food.
I could.
She just begrudgingly stands up. I just clutches her fist.
Fine, I'll go.
And Gil's just gonna kind of get up from the table and start making his way towards the Adventurers Guild with anyone who will accompany him.
Considering that Hecate was sort of in a daze last session, hint hint, I was not here, he'll tag along just to get some info.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sayora will not be tagging along.
Yeah.
What? You don't want two characters in the scene?
No two birds in the same place?
This is a golden opportunity to have three birds in one spot.
Three birds
No,
means
just-
you.
No, two birds, one stone. That's the saying.
Yeah, I was about to say. Oh no.
Gil is the stone.
Ha.
No, I think you mean to say Gil was rocked. Especially considering the fucking rock element.
I want to rock.
I want to rock, but set to Gil getting punched in the fucking face.
Oh my god.
Anyways, Adventurous Society, let's go.
Herrick will come along as well, though he does seem to be a bit wary of I.
Understandable.
So Sayora is the only one that's getting a night's rest.
Sarah's gonna fucking
Basically, get the
walk
rooms
up
in
to-
order, I would imagine, yeah.
Sarah gets rooms for you guys. All right, so you
Make our way to the Adventurous Society. We're checking to see if Aquamarine has a mission posting for getting guards for the caravan from Diamond to Aquamarine.
Okay. Sorry, I was typing something. Okay, so you make your way to the Adventurers Guild, not the Adventurers Society, Kirby. It's enough that I make the mistake. They'll do it too. So you go to the guild,
Mm-hmm.
and you enter, and there's, like many guilds, there's a counter at the back, and there are just kind of sections on the wall with missions placed on boards. Once again, in collaboration with the Arcane Society, the Adventurers Guild has a bit of artificing magitech. The mission boards are rarely just kind of a thing with papers stabbed into it. It's glass monoliths that you can go to and scan through the information. I mean, like, I'm gonna make a comparison that Min will be very clear about. So it's kind of like you used to go to McDonald's and have to go to the counter and speak to someone,
No, we
but
got
now
it.
you can
We got
move
it.
to like the little thing.
Yep.
What?
Thank you,
You
Warbot.
don't want me to talk about it?
But I don't want to use the kiosk. I want to speak to a real person.
Oh, there it is.
I'm going to
There
stand
it is.
off here for the next 30 minutes, being passive aggressive until someone takes my order.
Oh, so you're saying that's the perfect opportunity for Gil to go straight to the front desk. Got it.
All right, so Gil, you walk to the
Never
front
be the
desk.
boomer, Gil.
Yeah.
No, like
Gil,
before
you-
Gil approaches it, when the doors bust down, like I use his thaumaturgy and shouts,
Oh my god, it caught Discord caught none of that.
"Good,
yeah.
good." I'm turning off noise suppression so you get tortured
Excellent.
in the future.
Perfect.
In
All
his
right.
future.
So yeah, no, Gil's just gonna make his way to the front desk because Gil is that passive aggressive asshole that just goes straight to the front desk.
All right, so the
Doesn't
front
use the
desk.
What's
fucking
is-
Happy Meal?
kiosk.
So at the front desk, there's just kind of a guy who's it's a tiefling, teal skinned, with just kind of these deep oaken horns, almost with tree-like, bark-like texture on top of it. He's got this light blue beard with a bunch of gray in it, and he seemed to be when you approach the board, the fucking when you approach him and you start to see, he seems to be the type of tiefling with cloven hooves rather than feet, and he's just leaning on his knuckles, just kind of looking at people going through the glass obelisk panes, and
So
he
he's
goes,
fucking Squidward.
It's you, man.
and he goes, "Welcome to the Adventurers Guild. What can I do for you today?"
We heard that there was a supply scheduled from Diamond to Aquamarine, and we were wondering if they needed any guards hired to help aid the caravan get here safely.
You know, there's like magical items to look through the quests, right? You don't need to come here and I'll look for you.
I just walks up and glares.
Okay, so the guy just kind of nonchalantly
Do you really have to?
nonchalant so the guy nonchalantly looks up to Gil, and then his eyes just kind of shift the size. He sees I, and immediately he stands straight, puts both hands behind his back, and I say, Lady I, I didn't see you there. What, what are you looking for?
She just points a finger to Gil and says,
Oh, what he said.
Oh, of course, of course. And he takes out like a glass pane, and he starts to slide through, and he says, yeah, yes. Well, there are requests for aid with the protection of a shipment coming from Diamond. However, with the teleportation blackout, we cannot teleport you to Diamond. You're gonna have to make your way there. The shipment leaves in 2 days, and it usually takes about a day if you're going quickly enough to get to Diamonds. You'll probably need some kind of transportation,
We can
horses
get there.
of some.
We can get there.
Okay, great. If
Gil will
you'll
put
if
his
you'll
token on the desk.
yeah, that's what I was going to ask for, the tokens.
Gil,
as he
just,
says, I puts her token as well.
Gil just kind of glances to I. He's looking at you like I haven't been around as long as you have.
Well, let's just say I have connections.
And she,
well,
yeah, she just puts her diamond token forward.
Fucking like I like to imagine that Gil's token is gold, but it's also kind of like a bit scratched.
Oh, it's
and
like
just kind of
we've gone
not
over
polished.
this before, but he's been in the guild as long as I, basically. But he's specifically chosen not to upgrade it beyond gold, because why the fuck would he want platinum?
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like old and hasn't been updated. And and then I gives her token, which is just fucking polished to high heavens, with
Like
just kind
fucking
of
pristine and all
shimmering
that shit.
diamond, pristine, beautiful, not a single mark on it. And the guy chuckles nervously and then places a wand to both tokens to basically he presses the wand to the glass pane he has in his hand with the quest in question, and then just kind of presses the wand to token and then does the same thing with the other token to impart the information. All the information for both both quests are in, and there we go. That's you have been offered the quest in question. And he goes, is there anything else I can do?
Nope, Gil
for
leaves.
you? Okay.
Oh my
Goodbye,
god.
I guess. And then
I just puts her hands behind her back and gives a bit of a smile, and she just says,
Do keep up the good work.
and that smile turns into a bit of a fiendish smile just for a split second as she turns around and leaves as well.
The fucking guy is just kind of head shaking, picks up like a little thing and dabs at his forehead. He's like,
And as she leaves the place and the doors close behind, she just giggles.
Hecate is doing his damnedest, trying to not laugh his ass off, but he just has like a shit-eating grin the entire time.
Alright.
yeah. So, Herrick, the fuck's going on with you? Were you just kind of, how do you feel about what just happened?
Oh, he don't like it. He don't like it one bit.
What does he not like?
The way both of them acted.
They were both horrible to the poor customer service person.
Just
How
kind
dare
of like,
they?
sidles up behind him after like we've left. It's like, you guys are assholes.
What?
What do you mean? They did a fantastic job.
What?
That does
Hey,
not change the
I-
fact that they're assholes.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's what Azzy told me to do.
She just looks baffled.
You know, I really don't know what to think about you yet, but I don't know. I don't trust you yet.
I mean, all Hecate's just adding fuel to the fire because he just wants to stir the pot.
I mean, give it time. Give it time.
I'm gonna say Hecate, because I know it's something you would do. His name tag said Joseph, and you picked up on that. In case you want to fuck with him later.
Oh,
and do
absolutely.
worse.
Oh, absolutely.
The name tag says Joseph K.
Joseph
Like
K.
K dot. You don't know. It's not big enough to have his fucking full name on it, so it's Joseph K.
All right.
Anyway, so
He'll just kind of keep that in mind for next time.
you have a you for the first time in forever.
We could
You
make
should be able to go to now that you factually have it open and it works. You can go to the top right of your screen, and there should be a section called Journal. And if you go into it, there's a section called Player Journals, and you have Tony's journal, which you can use to take notes now that you have access to the fucking game. So
Fucking
if you want to take notes, you can go there and do that. And yeah, that's all I
Does
wanted to say
anyone
about that.
have anything else they want to do before we sleep and basically head out to Diamond? Anything we want to do in Aquamarine? Or should we just basically skip to the travel?
Well, whichever you prefer. I'm not going to force anything on
I
you.
mean, I'm asking
I just
everyone
want
else.
to say,
Yeah.
I want to ask Sarah, is there anything you want? Is there anything you want Sarah to do before we leave, or are we good?
She's gonna take a walk.
Okay. So Sarah leaves and takes a walk. Sarah, you walk through the roads, the paved roads of Aquamarine. It's getting late, but there are beautiful globes that let out this pale blue light lighting the streets as you're walking. Um, Aside from the fact that this place is under siege and that there's not a lot of people in the streets, technically, that might even make it more pleasant to walk with a lot of people being indoors. Um, you just walk through the city, just kind of enjoying the night air, uh, the um, the cool breeze. Is there anything you want to do while you're on your walk, or um, are you just going to
Just
walk
going,
around?
just going on a walk, seeing the sights.
All right. So yeah, so you guys come back to the oaken cask, and um, you're expecting to meet back up with um, with Sarah. But as you're walking back, you see Sarah walking towards the oaken cask as well as you're coming back from the guild, as if they'd left to do something else during the time.
Cool. Alright. Well, I'll see you all in the morning. And we'll set out for Diamond shortly after. And Gil will pay for the room and go to bed.
I suppose I should do the same. Hecate just kind of casually walks by, dropping money, and just goes to his room.
Seora will pay for a room and go to bed. I is going to do her usual thing, not pay for a room, and sleep in a tree outside.
Very fair.
All right, you are a I'm not certain if we've gone over I's species. We don't use race anymore. Have we gone into a bit of a detail as to what I's species is? Do you have trance?
She's an elf, so yes.
So, Andariel, for those who are not
Avariel.
Avariel, sorry, for those who are not aware, me partially included, are like winged elves.
Yeah.
So they're
Elves, but with wings.
I don't know where I'm going with this. Elves with wings. Fuck. Anyway, so
It's a really hard concept to grasp, I know.
yeah, I know. So you fly up into the tree and just kind of lean on a branch. Aquamarine is fairly like forested when it comes to like the inside of the city. You wouldn't expect to have
They've
so
got,
many
like,
trees in
parks
such
and
a
stuff.
modern city, but there are a lot of like grassy areas with large trees. Seemingly, um, the trees that remain are very old, as if so the one planning the city when they were making it had like trees they didn't want to destroy or root off, and they kind of like plan around them. So you find about 5-minute walks from the Oaken Cask a little park, and at the center of the park is just this old birch that's just kind of
Perfect for nesting.
perfect for nesting. You fly up and land on in the crook of one branch.
So for everyone that isn't I, how much for the rooms?
I'm gonna say like the Oaken Cask. You're currently so the room comes with food in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, do you want food in the morning? Yes, it comes with food. But people are rationing right now, so it's going to be 5 silver for the stay. I believe you were all pretty fucking rich being adventurers, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're gonna
Wow,
have
stereotyped.
trouble.
5 silver is fine. That's about average.
I'm here thinking like, should Hecate even try to haggle with that?
I mean, you could try and play for the night.
Hecate,
You are a
do
bard.
you want to? You are a bard. Do you want to try
Provide
to
entertainment?
get room and
Yeah.
board in exchange for your bardic talents?
Fuck
That's
it.
not something.
I was about to say, should I do that and just like roll persuasion?
Why not?
Slash
Performance.
Yeah, roll persuasion.
Yeah.
So you walk up to the dwarven, the dwarven man behind the bar who's just kind of looking at your instrument with a bit of greed in his eyes, and he's like,
And Hecate just takes a notice and just pulls it out and just plays a small tune, and he's like what you hear?
"Oh well, that's not too bad. Would you be so interested as to play for the evening? I don't have anyone in the stages. So empty."
I suppose I could. However, I may need to be compensated for this.
How about I give you 50% off on your room and board?
I think that might do.
You you see that he was roll insight. How about you roll insight?
Okay. What the fuck are these rolls, dude?
You're rolling with your foundry's like, oh, she can finally roll. Let's make her swear off the physical dice. Anyway, so 23. When he makes that suggestion to you, you are fairly certain that this is like when you're haggling, you give something first that you plan on being refused to then so as to not basically you've haggled with people like this before. What he wants is not to pay you. So what he's what he's doing right now is he's offering you half off. So you refuse that, and then he acts as if he's doing you a favor by telling you that he's going to just give you the room for free. But what he doesn't want is to pay you, even though he knows he probably should.
Which I
That's
know.
the
He was gonna
yeah.
say, I suppose that's fair. However, I feel like with how rare this instrument comes around, especially in this type of area, shouldn't I deserve something a little more than this?
He makes a show to grumble, which with your insight, is he's just kind of playing to the motions. And he says, all right, I guess you got me. How about this? Food and board for the night for free.
Sounds like a deal.
Ah, that's a good lad. And he chuckles. And I'm gonna roll inside for the dwarf. he sees into you about as well as you see into him. So he appreciates that you played along, and he pours you a beer, and with a smile he says, "On the house."
Gladly taken. He takes a sip as he starts to his tune.
Can you roll me a persuasion check?
Find that real quick. There we go. There we go. What the fuck?
Okay. All right. So
What are these rolls, man?
Good is what they are.
so
I
the
know, but like, watch, as soon as I get in combat, I'm gonna flood this.
so you spend the evening just kind of playing and talking with this man, and you learn that this innkeeper comes from a family of smiths, but he didn't like working at weapons. His name is Goldar Sharpaxe. So I'm gonna type that.
Yeah, I kind of need that there. I'm like, I don't even know how to spell that.
Goldar Sharp. 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 Okay. And you spend like, I'm not gonna make you role play this. That's why I'm add you roll persuasion. You spend basically kind of the evening uh chatting with him and then going to play and then coming back to chat, and you have and what happens is you make a friend. So for the foreseeable future, if you can go into your notes, you will have you talk, you laugh, you drink together, and for the foreseeable future, or until unless Golder dies in the siege, you're going to have free room and board at Aquamarine whenever you come by if you go to the Oaken Cast.
Oh hell yeah!
So this is like, and there's a chance if you haggle a bit with him that you might be able to get some off from for your friends as well. So yeah, so basically, you being a good a fun, I'm not gonna say a good person, you being a fun person, and
An
playing
entertaining
along.
and lucrative investment.
Yeah, you're an entertaining and lucrative investment. So Golder just kind of uh, draws up a little agreement. He signs it. He pushes it on the counter, and he says, "You're a good company, lad. So, how about this? As long as I stand in this shop, in this inn, when you come by, if you play for us a little, I'll set you up. How about that?"
I suppose that sounds like a deal. How about you receive my autograph as well? He says
He
as he's sighing.
chuckles. He chuckles. Says, "Aye, I'll keep it. Dearly."
And to
And
that, Hecate just plucks a single feather. It just a simple like down feather, just by like his head. Kind of dips it in ink and just does a scribble.
It must hurt to sign your name.
These feathers I don't exactly need, so
says I, just kind of peeking her head in before she goes back to the thing. I'm kidding. So yeah, so basically you spend a bit of time enjoying yourself, and then later in the night when people begin to want to go to bed, you just kind of climb up the stairs and fall into your bed, tired from playing music for into the small hours of the night. And eventually you wake up in the following morning.
Yeah. And barring anyone doing anything specifically this morning, I think we're probably just gonna regroup and make our way to Diamond.
All right. So, you make your way to the western gate of the of Aquamarine. Oh, or the southern. You came from the south, so if you have, did you come by with your cart and your dragons?
We
Your
would have
your
needed to, especially because we also brought the captive and he was on a fucking Hydra, so.
Yep. So I'm gonna say you left them somewhere south because you
Mhm.
came from the south. So you walk to the southern gate, and um, you're stopped by you're stopped by someone, but you flash your adventurers tokens. They take a small wand, press it to your token, press it to a glass slab, and they see the information. They nod, and then they let you through. You find your way to your carriage, um, and pulled by your guard drake, begin your travel towards Diamond. Um, you'll probably won't have to go into Diamond. The contract specifies that you are to meet them
On the
at
outskirts.
on the southern outskirts of Diamond.
Yeah.
So you begin your journey, which is um, uneventful as far as you're aware. How about everyone roll me a perception check? See, spot anything strange.
Getting into your dangerous voice there.
Oh my god.
1 second.
Hey, what's wrong with Daedrus?
All right, so that's
It is a bit of a dangerous voice, but a lot more
one
cheerful than Daedrus is.
perception.
Damn.
I am not going to roll.
We
for
are
my
fucking
familiars.
perceptive today.
I don't
Two
know why it
perception.
didn't list mine there. I know I saw like a 3 on my dice, so I'm like the only one that's like
It
rolling
didn't show
really
up.
bad.
It didn't show up in the roll logs. Just roll it again. It's
Oh.
fine.
All right,
Oh
Didn't
my
show up in the
God.
logs.
watch it be worse, or just better. Okay,
All right.
All right.
So
Nat 20. Still a 20. Everyone. Except for Sayora.
Oh.
Who had the advantage?
Oh, that's true. That's very funny.
like okay, I'll take it.
So, what you see as so as you travel, some of you spot look up to the sky and you see birds flying.
Birds!
Hey, that's us.
You know they're not real, but sure, you see birds. And
There we go. You heard them. Birds aren't real.
They're Queendom drones. Yeah.
Herrick, well, funny enough, Herrick, you're looking at the birds flying, and maybe it's a trick of perspective that you see something else flying in the sky, that seemingly is the same size as the birds, but
it's not a
you know that
bird.
it's something much larger but much further, that's flying in exactly the right height to be confused with the regular bird flyers. So you expect that there's might be a scout of some kind. It's too far for you to notice anything, but you don't really see why there would be Bastion scouts here, unless they're a Bastion scout looking out for an ambush. not exactly something you can figure out, but you know that there are actively scouts in the air. As for what everyone else sees, you see signs of um, something traveling in the area. You can't tell what necessarily uh, those were without additional survival checks made to just kind of leave out and go look at the tracks. But it's clear that something has moved through here recently. Um, though there are no signs of an ambush being set up on your way there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll wait until later to set up their ambush, but you don't see any ambushes right away as you travel. And having rolled what you've rolled, not that your characters would know, but chances are that you are correct in your knowledge that you don't see in I don't know, maybe I rolled fucking 24 stealth. That's not a 24. So yeah, you can stop and investigate the area. But as far as you're aware, it just shows that someone or some group of people have passed through here recently, and uh, but it doesn't look like it's any ambush. So anybody
Mm,
at least it's clearly not a Queendom ambush. I
mm.
should say. Anyone want to survival and just kind of stop and look at the tracks?
Survival, my specialty.
Yeah, go for it.
Nah,
I can go for it. Why not? Okay.
I do that. Let the actual players go for it first.
Hecate, those are tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, those are
people.
tracks. Those are indeed tracks.
So it's
Okay.
it is very clearly humanoid kind of. Is it wagon as well, or
Humanoid,
is it
kind of.
just like a group of people just walked?
More like a
Okay, I'll roll the thing.
large group. More like a large group of people.
I'm no better. Don't worry.
It's a large group of people.
You rolled lower, but you have a lot of experience in this that Hecate doesn't have. So even though you rolled lower than Hecate, you're gonna get something from this. Which is that these are not kobold tracks. Like
Is it a beast? Is it a beast or a dragon?
no.
Yeah.
Okay, I
it's
don't get advantage on it. Damn.
just humanoid.
The humanoid, the boot prints are. I mean, Hecate, even you with your roll, you see this. Boot prints too big to be kobold. So, if this were Queendom, it might be like specifically only half dragons and dragonborn, but that's not.
Actually, I
a
think I'm only supposed to have
full-on
one favorite enemy. Damn.
full-on dragonborn
Yeah.
contingent would be weird.
Mm.
And even then,
Well,
it
beasts.
looks no, you don't get any more. I'm gonna stop talking. So yeah, so full dragonborn contingents are not very common, and this is clearly not kobolds. That's what you know.
This is also just on the way out of Aquamarine, so like,
On the path
Far-
towards that,
yeah.
for further, a bit further.
This is just like, this is just tracks that we see that are just going in one of the directions.
Yep, but they're basically tracks that are crossing your path.
Crossing
on
gotcha.
your way on your way there.
Okay.
So they there's a group of people moving. They don't seem to have horses. They seem to be traveling by foot. And there's a lot of them, but they're clearly not kobolds. And they don't look draconic. Because a lot of draconic creatures, a lot of Queendom forces are accompanied by guard drakes and other draconic creatures. And they would leave like
Claw marks.
footsteps from claw marks and stuff. Whereas this is all booted feet.
Yeah.
So you're fairly certain, even with your rolls, that this isn't Queendom.
Not too suspicious. It's just people crossing a path. As far as we can tell. So yeah.
Yep.
Gil just kind of clocks that, doesn't really pay it much mind.
Herrick's like not really paying attention to the tracks on the ground. He's just still looking up in the sky, like squinting.
Which is good because you're all gonna die. What? Nothing.
What now?
Unless we get interrupted, continuing on to Diamond.
So you continue on your way to Diamond, and you left early in the morning, and as you reach Diamond late evening, you see a camp south of the wall with what seems to be a large contingent of people.
We'll make our way over to them.
All right. So you approach the caravan, and there are multiple people, other people that seem to be guards around the caravan. You don't seem to be the only ones, at least.
That's
And
good.
Yeah, so basically you don't seem to be the only ones, and you walk around and you find who you may believe to be the caravan master. Large, well, a strange sight, really. You see what looks like a red-haired dwarf. He's got just this big bushy beard with his tressed hair that is like crimson fire red. He's got just this black ashy skin. He's got this rotund belly, and he's very wide as he is tall. One thing, he's like 8 foot tall. So he's clearly not a dwarf. He just looks like a really,
Dwarvish in appearance, not so much in height.
yeah, dwarvish in appearance and countenance, but not in size. And he's just this unit of a man with just kind of this grayish, dusky, ashen skin, and just kind of this deep red, fiery beard. And he turns to you and he says, "Ah! Nice to see more adventurers coming."
Not the kind of voice I would have expected from such a man, but okay.
Yeah.
And that is
he
as
does-
Hecate. That is actually as Hecate.
Ah, I get that a lot. Well, so I'm from looking at your attires, I can get a feeling that you're the adventure types. Are you here to be part of the defense of my dear old caravan?
Indeed. We just came from Aquamarine, saw the situation there. Figured this was the best way to help for the time being.
Dreadful business with Aquamarine, I tell you what, buddy, it's gonna make me a lot of money. Anyway, so, we've got some tents, he stretches his back and looks around, and then he points, over there for the adventurers, my good friends. Feel free to find a tent to your needs. We've set up a lot of them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We leave tomorrow at 8, and then you hear a groan in the back, and he just turns around and says, 9. And then you hear a groan again, and he says, 9:30 sharp. And then the groaning resumes, and he says, shut up, Gregory! Okay, so 9:30.
Rolls his eyes.
We leave at 9:30. Make sure you're ready by then. If you are not ready, we leave you behind and you don't get paid. No, seriously. Be ready.
Yeah, I think we'll be up by 8 since we're not bitches.
Yeah. And any of us who aren't, I'll be sure to wake them up.
And then he nods. And
I
says,
just shivers a bit hearing that.
He nods and just kind of says, all right, well then, make your way there. Oh, you heard that, Gregory? They called you a bitch, he says as you're walking away.
Alright.
All right, so you make your way to the camping site, and as promised, there are a lot of fairly high quality tents set up around. Clearly this guy doesn't mess around when it comes to adventure guild employed people. You don't want to fuck with the adventurers guild, so the amenities are pretty great. But nice cushions and lean futons on the ground of each tent. There seems to be a 4-person tent that's available, and considering that I's gonna sleep on a 3, that's perfect for you guys.
Hey guys, for some reason I feel like sleeping in a tent now.
You find a 6-people tent and you choose to go
No.
there. No. Okay.
I'm not gonna be a bitch.
No, screw I. She can go.
It's not
sleep
like
in
it's
the
gonna
bush.
change my plans. I don't have something intricate planned that only works with a 4-people tent. Sigh.
There was only one bed trope.
In any case, as you set up for the night, is there anything that any scenes that you guys want to have together? A talk about the current events? Or are we going straight to bed?
So, question
Hi.
for you.
Yeah.
Just who are you exactly?
Well, wait. She just points to Gil, just says, has he not mentioned me at all? Not once? She just turns and says, Gil!
Gil just kind of glances away.
Mr. Grumpy Pants over there has been very tight-lipped about his past.
Well, it seems like Mr. Grumpy Pants has some explaining to do.
Well, Mr. Grumpy Pants needs to learn to open up a bit.
Yeah, good luck with that.
He knows that's what got him into a little mess with me. Just stares daggers for a moment. Anyways, that aside, so I was once a traveling companion of Gil's way back. Let's see, what was it? Like 700, 800 years ago? I've lost count, really. Years really don't mean anything anymore. It's really kind of weird. But that aside, like, she just clutches a fist a bit as she just shakes her head a bit, trying to shake off the memory. Right. Lately, I've been under the employ of the Adventurers Guilds. Like, you could say that I am close to one of the higher ups, you could say. And because of that, I get sent on a lot of jobs. Other than that, I'm a happy, carefree spirit that likes to take care of her birds, even though they're not really. We deal with that. We deal with that. She just seems to rock in place a bit as if she's coping and tending to the bird next to her. But the bird next to her seems to glare at Herrick, and you can see this infernal gaze in its eyes.
Higate just kind of has like a surprise squint.
The bird, looks at I with fire in its gaze, and it just goes chirp.
Are you really gonna be playing this game again? Oh, come on! Every single time we are in front of people!
Hoot.
Chirp, chirp.
You know, that's hardly funny anymore,
Herrick.
you know?
Herrick is just going to say, in Infernal, "Oh, come now. No need to be so coy."
So you know how different people from different languages have different onomatopoeia for the sounds of animals, like we have meow in Japanese, people have nya. So the bird in Infernal is gonna speak out the onomatopoeia for a bird chirping.
What?
Yeah, to that, I just face palms.
So basically, he's going in common chirp, and then you speak in Infernal, and he goes, tweet.
A comedian, I see.
I don't know how I tolerate this guy.
I'm going to assume his presence probably has something to do with the fact that the Huntress Inquisitor's taken a notice of you.
I'm not actually sure
why? Well, actually, no. I do have an idea as to why they've taken notice to me, and it confuses me as to why they haven't taken notice to Gil yet.
Hmm. Hard to tell, really. But I do
Because,
know that the Huntress Inquisitor doesn't just target nobodies.
Mm.
well, hundreds of years ago, the two of us were a threat to the Queendom in ourselves, like in a group. And if my hunch is right, we still are.
Hmm.
So, Gil, if I'm right, you've been watching your back about this whole time, right? You've
I
caught on to
mean-
this.
The one upside to this form I've been given is it's not exactly... doesn't stand out in a crowd all that much. And since I don't go around flaunting my resources, kinda glances at her diamond pin.
She completely fails to notice that and just looks at her wings.
It's, a lot easier for me to avoid bringing unwanted attention to the places where I'm trying to help. Unfortunately, we all got a close personal look at what that would result in over in Bismuth. Just kind of
And then
furrows his brow and just kind of frowns towards Herrick.
you hear in common. He's got a point, you know. Chirp.
She just glares at the bird at this point.
You are not doing a good job at this, you know.
Oh, come now. We're between friends, aren't we? Sweet.
That's entirely upon
You know,
how much you're
I
willing
know
to
I
reveal
called
about
him a
yourself.
Canadian earlier, but that was actually kind of funny.
The bird chuckles evilly.
So, are you going to introduce yourself, or should I?
Didn't I just?
Well, greetings. My name is Az. I am an acquaintance of I. Good to see you, Gil. But, our good friend Gil has a point. You do make a target of yourself by, your choice of quests. As far as I'm aware from uh, your good friend's records at the guild, he usually tends to just help anyone rather than actively combat the Queendom. More of a helping everyone who's in need than a hero for justice or whatever you call yourself.
All right, but we aren't going to get anything done faster if we don't act fast. Get
She just sounds defeated at what the
Correct.
bird is saying.
Correct me if
Uh,
I'm wrong, but isn't acting fast what got you in that ambush in the first place?
You
that
shush.
He's got a point there.
darling, it's not by acting fast that you'll get things done. It's by acting smart.
But
I liked it better when you were chirping.
to Eye's point, it does seem like the Queendom has been picking up the pace of things as of late.
Sure.
Oh my god, I hate
Thank you.
already.
A lot of their assaults have been picking up as of late along the border. They've been less subtle about their intent on assaulting all of Bastion. And after what happened with Bismuth, I get the feeling things are only going to escalate from here.
That's a fair assessment.
I've been around long enough to recognize when the Queendom is done playing coy for the time being.
Yes. One thing I'm surprised is that we haven't seen any dragons in the vicinity of Aquamarine. As if they're keeping that card in their back pocket because they don't. Well, if they send a dragon at Aquamarine, that's an excuse for Bastion to send their dragons.
And they probably don't want to try that with Diamond being so close. For all intents and purposes, Bismuth was not that close to one of the more protected cities in the region. It's an
Well,
easier target.
that is fair. Though all border cities of Bastion have their own defenses against dragons. I'm surprised the dragon was able to break the defenses there. He must be quite the powerhouse.
Well, from what I
You
understand,
would know
Eric knows
something
better
about
than
that,
anyone.
wouldn't you? He says, the bird says, looking at Eric.
I just know that he's a bastard. The manipulative one at that.
Now, when you say bastard, do you mean metaphorically, like when I use it, or are you talking literally?
Yes.
Oh, fair enough.
I can
You
tell
just
all
need
of
to
us
know that I don't like him and he is a problem.
Well, I think we've seen the latter very clearly.
What were you saying, Tony?
I can tell a lot of us have watched DBZ Abridged.
Um, so, as goes, in any case, the Queendom has indeed been ramping up its assault on the border and doing so quite efficiently, I might add. The whole idea of timing their assault with the Black Moon, that's quite smart.
I don't know if it specifically needs to be the Black Moon. They did the assault on Bismuth under the Red One, if I recall.
Red One doesn't exactly offer any benefits. It's just red. And technically, the Black Moon isn't
Strictly beneficial to
necessary.
them.
Couldn't the red
Exactly.
have just been to send a message?
Possible. Visibility is also slightly hindered, but only slightly. Certainly not to the
As far-
extent that the Black Moon is.
As far as I'm aware, if it hadn't been from agents on the inside, Bismuth would not have fallen. But at least would have put up more of a defense.
Gil's
But
gonna
what
kind
do
of
I
raise
know?
an eyebrow on that one.
And then the bird says, "But what do I know? I'm a bird. Chirp, chirp."
Hecate just kind of goes, as a fellow bird, I hate you.
The
Oh,
bird
that
goes.
would really maybe mean something if he actually was a bird.
Well, technically, I'm a bird. I'm not.
Well, correction, as a bird with the
Current.
capability to speak, I hate you.
Okay.
Apparently, I've triggered my
Uh.
dog because now he's like whining, like, "You don't hate me, do you?"
That's cute.
Incorrect. You triggered my dog,
Oh no.
and I was muted.
The bird just looks at you and instead of saying chirp like he's doing, he just actually lets out a proper bird chirping noises.
Oh, I hate you even more now.
And then the bird switches from chirping noises to a deep laugh that you wouldn't expect coming out of a tiny thing like that. It just goes. Well, aren't you fun?
Herrick just like narrows his eyes more and more as this conversation goes on.
And then Az says, you should introduce me to more of your friends. This is much more fun than when you're alone. You can be a bore sometimes.
More, like 32 of them already. They hang out all the time back home.
She sighs and he's like, I'm not counting actual birds. I mean people.
Hecate raises his eyebrows at that.
Oh yes. Reminder. I think I have. There is something we need to go over for you specifically. For the treehouse, you weren't there while they explored it, so I'm gonna give you a tiny recap so that you have the information. I's treehouse is a disorganized mess, which she claims is organized chaos. She is wrong. She can find anything in it, though. Not that it helps the poor fools who find their way there. Perched in a large birch, the treehouse is of standard size compared to other dwellings in Jasper. In it, one can find a living room, every surface covered in various papers and baubles, a bedroom with a bed always undone and clothes on the floor, a small library with no clear organization in the books placed there, and a strangely perfectly organized and spotless kitchen with various teas placed in jars on the wooden counter. but also has, scattered throughout the dwelling, multiple birdhouses, nests, and perches, often occupied by regional birds who have found their way in through one of the many small openings in the walls. Resident taskmaster of the birds is Balthazar, the sentient owl, who organizes the various nests and bird homes, collecting rent in the form of various berries, cereals, and seeds given to I as tribute for letting them stay there.
Oh no, I's
so
playing Wingspan.
so
I
so
is
the-
playing Wingspan.
Oh my god, you're so right.
so um so when I refers to like the 32 friends that she has, she's talking about her bird tenants. So there we go. You're all caught up from the session you missed.
Concerned.
As you should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as Bird says, once again, I'm just gonna get back into it. He says, I mean people, not birds. All they do is chirp.
She just rolls her eyes as she does the hand talking expression as he is talking.
Just kind of.
Yes.
And then he goes, well, Balthazar is fun. He's an exception.
Makes it sound like you like him a bit.
I do.
Just a sheer silence.
Yeah. The bird just kind of raises a talon and scratches at his neck and goes, in any case, I'll go scout around, make sure everything's fine, and
Thank you. She says as if she's motioning her head, as if she's saying, get on, get along. Get out of here so I can talk to my friends and enemy.
he looks at you with what you all can see as the closest thing a bird can do to a deadpan stare. And then he says, you're lucky I find you entertaining.
She just jolts up a bit. Her wings immediately stand at attention, and her back is completely straight.
But then he says, fine. I'll leave you to your friends. And then he bows to you, one wing folding in front of his chest as he bows low as a bird, raises his
He's a fucking
head,
Disney animal. We get it.
fucking and then begins to fly away, only to turn, look at Herrick, and go, sweet. And then he flies off.
Rufus, holy shit, you're gonna be okay. I promise you.
Bill's just gonna turn to I, gesture in the direction that Az flew off, and just say, what the fuck?
What? It's Az.
You say that like it explains anything.
It's Az. She just smiles.
trying to pass it off.
But seriously, what the fuck, though?
Hey, war boss.
Yeah.
Can I make a religion check?
Yes. And while you're doing the check, I want to say, I know that you're making fun right now, but you're contractually obligated not to reveal anything.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Where's that one?
Yes, you can make a religion check.
I've
What
already rolled in
happened so far?
advance. Gil didn't make it.
Mhm.
Oh,
Should I?
It's up to you.
you can make a religion check, yeah, if you want.
Okay. Okay.
Nope.
That kind of goes as well as I expected it.
Nope.
Right.
Hecate. It's a bird named Az. What the fuck would?
It's weird that it knows
What-
Infernal,
what
but
does
like...
that-
uh,
What does that have to do with religion?
I
Sayora is not interested.
Just
That's my
gonna-
excuse for not revealing to myself.
mean...
Not as good as I
Oh.
was hoping.
yeah.
Okay. Well, 12. Do you have expertise in religion?
Well, this is me metagaming slightly, but my Eldritch Hunter feat, when I am making an ability check to track or identify an aberration, celestial, fiend, monstrosity, or undead, you can add proficiency bonus to the ability check. If you are already proficient in the ability check, you can double your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, that's fair.
What if I just bardic inspiration?
Do you want to? I'm gonna allow you to retroactively do so.
Sure, I'll just throw it out to Eric.
You see Herrick just kind of glaring in the direction of the bird, trying to put something together.
It's like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure thing. We just see like a fucking dragonborn hit a bird.
So it's D6 for your... Correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think at 4th level it's still a d6.
Alright. 18.
Damn.
It's gonna be an 18.
18's probably gonna do it.
Okay.
Just fuck you in particular.
Alright, so
From Hecate to this
Your-
bird.
okay, so it's kind of like the entire idea, if you've ever felt that, where like you've got something that's obvious, but it feels so impossible that it
Mhm.
would be the case.
Like, the connection
you're
is there,
like-
but it's like, nah.
Nah. So you're like, well, as there's specifically Herrick, you know that like one of the big things with fiends specifically is that your former queen used to be in the hells. She was in prison there before she broke out, and that's widely known knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they tried to hide it, you would have learned about that through osmosis in the world.
Even Gil knows that one.
And you also know that the leader of the hells, is a
Devil.
archduke, but also a god called Asmodeus, who is one of the only powers that Tiamat actively fears, other than her brother, because kind of like very similar in power, the two of them.
Mm.
But like, why would the leader of the hells be in a bird moving around with like a random ass elf.
But on the other hand, it would explain why the Queendom is treating I as such a high priority target.
It would also, if you're thinking about it, I may sound and look like a regular ass elf, but she's still, you know, a apparently part of the party who was trying to stop her from being revived in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a situation that's happening.
A lot of different things that seem impossible, but do slightly start adding up the more you think about it.
Yep. So
No.
either
Could it?
either this bird is working for Asmodeus, or you've just had a conversation with the leader of the Nine Hells, and he tweeted at you.
There you go, people. Even Asmodeus calls it Twitter. Even evil incarnate calls it Twitter. Could it have been? No. No, she can't be that dumb.
But can she?
Or can she?
Or
Gil,
can
how
she?
stupid is I?
Pretty stupid.
Okay, then maybe.
Like, Gil doesn't even, like, ask what he's talking about. He just hears that question and goes, yeah.
Can she be that stupid? He just goes, "Yep, that's her."
I don't know what you're
Dumb.
on about, but yes.
So, I'm
Anime monologues be like.
I'm assuming after everything that went down like 600 some years ago, you fell on some hard times.
What are you talking about? Well, I mean, I was captured by the Queendom, but it's okay. I got out. I got better. And then
Did you now?
I did have a trip through Icewood Dale. That was fun.
The fuck? How'd you go that far north? What? Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, Icewind Dale was in trouble back then. Well, probably less trouble than right now, but
Yeah, and did you just happen to run with a bad crowd during those times?
no.
Maybe
They were
you
wonderful
still
people.
are?
What? What are you talking about?
Look, I am gonna be honest with you here. I can kind of recognize infernal involvement when I can see it. I don't know if you can actually tell me anything about it, but I can see it.
Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. She just looks over to Gil and says, "Is this one all right?"
I think even he would tell you no.
He's not wrong.
If there's any popcorn, Hecate definitely has a bucket.
Hecate.
3 silver for the popcorn.
The fucking the like a tiny ghost-wise halfling pops out of a shadow and goes 3 silver for a popcorn.
Yeah.
No,
He
that
would
would be
really
funny,
hate.
but Hecate, you're thinking that you would like popcorn at this time, and then yeah, you have popcorn now. You don't know where it came from, but there's popcorn next to you.
He's just going at it at that point, honestly.
I'm just saying, you're being as coy as they were.
I'm sorry, I don't get what you're getting at here.
Don't know how much I believe that, but I'm not going to press any further right now. You got your secrets, I got mine. You don't want to share? That's fine. Either way, we should probably get rested up for tomorrow morning.
Great, that's a great idea. Let's go to bed. Good night, everyone.
She just flies over to the nearest tree.
Gil is going to keep an eye on which tree ice settles on so that he can wake her up in the morning. Because he knows he's
Hecate
going
just-
to need to.
Hecate just quietly like applauds himself just for giving Herrick the bardic inspiration.
Hi.
Hi.
About half an hour passes, and then a bird perches on the tree next to you.
She just peeks an eye open from and just wakes out of trance to see which bird it is specifically.
The bird goes, "Sure."
I'm trying to get some rest here. Can you not respect that for just a few hours, please?
Fine. But you be more careful in the future.
Look, I'm trying my best here. You know how difficult it is? How difficult it has been? Like, I understand you want to keep it low, but
Listen, I don't take this the wrong way, and I'm being as kind as I can at this time. I don't want you to think I'm insulting you or taking pleasure out of this. I will say it. Stupidity is not an excuse for breaking your contract.
She just sighs, wraps her arms behind her head, and just looks back up at the horrid night sky.
yeah, I understand.
That's the problem with you, I like you. But rules are rules. Try to get some sleep. Trance. One of them.
And that she dies. She just doesn't even say anything else. She just rolls back over in the tree. Almost falls out, but manages to roll back over.
The the bird waits patiently for your trance to end, and after a good 3.5 hours, you open your eyes once more, and it's technically kind of the middle of the night. You went it's kind of like 2 or 3 a.m. as your trance comes to an end. And then the bird just kind of flies back and flutters, and then lands, sorry, on your branch and says, "Are you resting now?"
Yeah. Right, I forgot to long rest Sayora. Yeah, actually, I need to long rest both of them.
Yep. The bird says,
Oh, the script doesn't work.
"What?"
The long rest script doesn't work.
Oh, weird.
Alright. Just says in mine. Which I don't have anything else that I did, so my stats are fine.
Should also probably take a long rest because, yeah. So, yeah,
All
no, it
right,
works
I've
for me.
long
That's weird.
rested. I don't know about.
Very strange.
I'm manually long resting Sayora.
Okay.
We'll have to look into that later.
All right. The bird says, "I'm positive that you'll encounter some kind of Queendom resistance on your way to Aquamarine."
Any estimate how many might be ahead?
I'm not sure, but you know how the Adventurers Guild works. And there are people stupid enough to break contracts. If not, wouldn't have implemented the black token system.
That's fair point there.
Seems like the Queendom has employed some adventurers stupid enough to make their way here and take a contract and then spy for them. Might have some black token contracts for you, but we can't do anything until they actually break the contract, which will happen technically once the Queendom makes their move.
So usual then?
Usual.
Got it.
She just takes an arrow and then just stabs it into the tree.
Got it.
As always, make sure you're ready for the unexpected. The Queendom. They're led by a sly one. Well, now that you're rested, I'll let this vessel rest a bit. We don't want it to drop dead now, would we?
Prefer not.
the bird lands on the tree, and then he says, "Take care of it. I like this vessel." And then the bird fucking passes out. Just kind of falls bonelessly onto the branch, and it just kind of you see that it's kind of there's a tiny like red patch around where the ears of the bird are, and around its beak it's just fucking bleeding from its extremities. But it's not dead, it's just unconscious.
Concern.
It should be. I know that technically the Find Familiar spell summons a familiar to you, and a magical familiar, but I like the idea that Asmodeus just takes over birds, and whenever the bird dies, the ritual to summon the familiar is just to find another bird.
I love it.
Another, he just
This
finds
begs
another
the
vessel.
question. This begs the question: what is Asmodeus's favorite bird?
Falcons. But this isn't a falcon. This is a, I don't know, man, a kestrel? I'm not gonna figure out what the fuck this bird is.
A kestrel for a kestel.
That's where I was going with it.
So we have I Kestel and As Kestrel.
Anyway, so yeah, you guys
Funk shoe.
sleep for the night, and you wake up the following day around 8.
I would say Gil
Except
would
I
probably.
really wake
I would say yes. Everyone would wake up at 8 because Gil wakes up like 7:30 because he's very regimented with that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if he recognizes people aren't getting up at around 8, so they can be ready to leave by like 9:30, he's just gonna pull out his horn and fucking play it as loud as he fucking can.
All right, so around 8, you all hear a horn beginning to play, and you hear the groaning of all the adventurers around you. Being chastened, and you all wake.
Somebody flips Gil off. Gil flips them back.
As you should.
All
And then,
right, so
on the assumption that I is further off in the distance and didn't wake up from that.
Oh no, she was still in the tree thinking, and as the horn went off, she just shouts, "Yes, Gil, I'm awake for crying out loud!" Every time.
Fucking I'm the one that flips him off.
Yes, because she's mature enough to do that now.
The bird that's just kind of
She's she's giving him the bird.
Yeah!
Uh,
There it is.
the bird that's kind of like bonelessly on the ground, just kind of raises its head and just kind of almost like a puppet just kind of gets back up and then flutters its wings and then flies up to your shoulder, opens its beaks and starts to fucking sing out loud. It's just full on Francesco song, chirping very loud in your
I've
ear.
got you too.
And he doesn't laugh, but you know he's laughing. As he flies away and begins to fly circles around the camp. Now we're going to be ending session soon. What I'm gonna say is the one last scene that's going to happen, which is unless you have a specific scene you would like to have.
I do actually.
All right.
So
So-
as we kind of are reconvening and gathering back up, and everyone's just kind of making their preparations for the morning, Gil's gonna kind of make his way back to the caravan. Okay, wait, is Orboss actually gone? 'Cause this is I need Orboss minutes.
No.
Like-
I'm just stretching. My
Okay.
leg was dead. I'm
no,
still
I was just
here.
like I looked up and saw you weren't there. I'm like, I need the tavern.
Oh no, where did the DM go?
I need the caravan master. Hang on. Gil's gonna make his way to the caravan master and is just gonna kind of clear his throat.
Ah! Good morning, Master Gil.
So, one of my companions mentioned that part of this caravan is a very important supply that is going to help Aquamarine in particular. On the
nods.
assumption that we need to pay extra close attention to that in case it is in jeopardy, what should we be keeping an eye on?
He looks in you and says, "Ah, you're a smart one. Well. You see that red wagon over there?"
Mm,
He points. It would be better if it wasn't
stolen or damaged?
obvious. It would be better if it wasn't obvious that it was being guarded. It's important not to concentrate the guards around what you don't want attacked,
Mm,
because concentration of guard means that's where they send the heavy hitters. But you look small enough. I'm sure you could act as a defender there.
not to mention I kind of blend in anyways. Kind of looks down at his red robes.
He says, "You're right. You're right. You're quite boorish." Anyway,
Slowly
yes,
looks
if you-
back up at him and just glares silently.
He just redoubles in laughter and then says, "Yes, well, I'll leave the protection of the red wagon to you then. Your party was of 5, correct? That sounds like a good amount of people. Ah, sure, why not?"
Alright, I'll let the rest of my party know. And then, unless anyone else has anything, I guess we can kind of fade out as Gil walks back to the party.
Mm-hmm.
Mission
Well,
statement.
there is one last thing I want to do. Which is, as your party is protecting the red wagon as you travel, you walk alongside the caravan, and in the distance, in fact, you know what? I would like everyone to roll me perception again.
Boy, here we go again.
Poor Ciora.
Tracks.
Oh, wow. It's better than I thought it would be
Excuse
for me.
Alright, perception.
Aye.
Blah.
I.
Could have been better.
Brother.
Could have been worse.
True.
You're traveling along the forested road, and you're looking out, and you see something gray skin, just kind of shifting through the woods around the area. This is a small wooded path, but the entire path between the Diamond and Aquamarine is not wooded, but you're in a wooded section of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a group of humanoids that are following the caravan. And what do you do?
Humanoids following the caravan?
Like in the forest itself, like off to the side.
Yep, basically, off
Yeah.
to the side.
And you said they were like gray skinned.
Yeah. Greenish gray.
Mm.
There seems to be people following us.
As you say this, you hear a thunk as an arrow slams into the red wagon behind you, and then a horn sounds. And you hear one of the adventurer look around, recognize something, and he screams, "Orc raid!" And that's where we're gonna end the session.
Nice.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I was literally gonna have Gil blow his horn as well. This is like, but somebody already got it for him, so cool.
So orcs.
Yep.
We have orcs. Yep. And that is where we're gonna end session. We're gonna start next session with a good old orc encounter. Aren't you guys? I mean, let's be fair. With orcs being CR1F as a dungeon master, I can't wait much longer. You're already level 4. Next arc, you're level 5. If I want to throw orcs at you, it's now or never.
Man, it's been a long time since you've thrown orcs at me. I hope you have learned since the last time.
Oh no, I'm not going to make it so that it's hundreds of NPCs fighting hundreds of orcs along the entire caravan. I'm going to make an encounter that's just surrounding that red caravan, and
we're just going
be...
to assume there's other fights around the red caravan.
Yeah, we're not gonna
Okay.
run fucking 70 orcs like we did last time I ran orc.
Look, we have other adventurers, guild members. They can fend for themselves.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on like the group of orcs that are attacking your section of the caravan. And
We might be able to talk
we're
about
going-
like some mechanic for seeing how the tide of battle goes, whether we get like more reinforcements from the orcs or if we get like some assistance from the guild members if things are going well on their
Probably.
end. But like,
I'm probably just going to make you roll a d100 and come up with.
yeah,
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make you roll a d100, and before next session I'm gonna come up with a table of things that can happen on that 100.
it's probably
with,
a good idea. Yeah.
The lower number being good things that happen, and the higher number being bad things that happen. and
Just having a
I'm
little
gonna make
bit more of a
someone roll every
dynamic
turn.
flow of battle.
Yeah.
Could be cool.
Also, one thing I wanted to talk about earlier that I just kind of forgot is I was playing with another group, not playing but spectating a game, and they were doing something which is like dynamic initiative where they re-roll initiative every round to basically like replace everyone, and I know that they were using Roll20 and that's super tedious. The thing though is that in Foundry there's a button to roll all in the initiative counter. So there might be things like
If it's literally a single button,
I'm-
it might not be as tedious then, yeah. We can
but
potentially try
but
it.
I'm not
That's
I'm not
something we'll-
planning.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was having a conversation with them, and we were talking about how tedious that is. And what I said was, it would be more interesting to do it in a way where like you're dealing with something, and something happens on the battlefield that shakes everything up and causes the initiative to be rerolled. Like you're near a volcano, there's an eruption, and the entire ground shakes. Everyone makes strength saves to see if they fall prone, and then poof, now you reroll initiative because something happened that like disturbed combat, and that's an event that causes this.
It's an interesting way to do it.
I wanted to at least talk about it to see if you were okay with that mechanic. It's probably not gonna come up here because you're in the middle of the fucking road. There's not gonna be a world-shaking event that's going to cause everyone to have
Unless
to
there's a
make
big ass
saving
orc
throws.
that shows up.
Let's like the fattest orc, super fat. He's just gonna
Look,
walk around
don't be mean to the trolls like that.
and. Oh yeah, I
Just-
could add trolls to the encounter. You're right. Smart. You're smart. Thanks.
Giving them ideas, people.
He's the big orc that makes all the rules.
Oh no, he's gonna add a troll. It would be a shame if somebody had their entire thing based around fucking fire damage.
Yeah. And I'm not even gonna be like,
He's
oh, it's
meta.
metagame. Oh, that's metagaming, I say to the fucking 900-year-old character who's probably faced trolls before.
It's not even
What?
metagaming
You
because he
spent- you've
literally
been an
does fire
adventure-
damage. That's his whole shit.
You've been an adventurer for fucking a millennia, coming in on a millennia, and you haven't faced a troll before?
Honestly, Gil would see an Ifrit and go like, yeah, I'm gonna punch that with fire. Cause like, yeah, that's what he does. He punches things with fire. When it doesn't
Yeah.
work, he'll be like, oh, well shit. Now what?
You know, the funny thing is that I could punch someone with fire. I could punch a fire elemental with fire and still deal damage to them. There's some really fun things on their build.
Not quite punch, thank you.
Well, that
I
would
mean-
be.
I mean, if you did punch them, you would probably get chastised for it.
You could also take fire damage as well. There's literally a fire elemental thing about hitting it with melee, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 100%. I'm pretty sure I would be more interested in shooting it from afar than fucking punching it. But yeah,
Anyways, this has been our little side talk at the end of the game, so I think this is probably where we're good to wrap it up.
Yep, we're good to wrap this up. Hopefully, next session. This session didn't have a combat encounter, but I think it had some fun back and forth between the players. We're gonna have, well, I mean, the fucking city's being sieged. We're gonna have a lot of combat encounters in this
Yeah,
arc.
no, next session's gonna be pretty action-packed.
And as I said, well, as I said, as has said, sorry, I just as has said,
English is hard, we get it.
He is pretty certain that there's going to be a Queendom ambush.
Mhm.
So this is an orc raid, which means that something is going to follow it up. I don't necessarily
point.
like the idea of doing like 2 comeback encounters back to back, but I'm fighting it hard to find a way to make it so that that doesn't happen.
Mm.
So,
Anyways,
I'll
thank
try
you
to
all-
make the combats this different enough.
Thank you all so very much for stopping by. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you in the next session.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Ignore him.